Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are still watching Creative Business on the Business Portal. Well, I'm very excited for today because I have a guest with me, and I met this guy a couple of years ago, probably 6 or 7 years ago, and I was just, I don't know, I was not like this. And because of this mentorship program, I actually became this kind of person. I don't know how you look at me right now, but ladies and gentlemen, one of the people behind LLOYD, Dr. John Ayudtud. Hi, Dr. John.
Hey, Lloyd.
Welcome to the show.
Wow, finally.
3 years ago, we have met.
Was it 3 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, we have met during an interview.
Right.
It was
right.
a segment called Career 911.
Right. Career
And
911.
how am I doing right now? What do you think?
Oh, you're pretty well
Thank you.
improved.
Pretty.
Yeah. You're good looking and a lot better,
That's what you get
a lot
from
smarter.
That's what you get from a friend and a mentor.
Right.
Let's talk about your mind.
Okay.
How powerful can everybody be if they just get it? How to maximize their thinking process?
Anybody can be the person that he wants to be if he just understands it, if he just sees it, if he gets the idea. That's the problem, because people don't realize it, they don't see it. And you look at the mind like it's just a one whole thing from the outside, so you don't really know the details of it, how the mind works. You know, brain is one thing, the mind is another thing. The will in the mind is another thing. The choice in the mind is another thing. The reason and the decisions are another thing.
Is it about being conscious about what's going on inside your mind and what's going on outside you and how you actually deal with what's happening? How you mix it? Is it about it?
Exactly. We only use 3% of our consciousness.
That means
The
that,
97% are all just the program, the concept.
and we are not aware that we are doing or thinking a thing.
Exactly, because a person can actually think without thinking.
Okay.
I mean, without being conscious. You know, sometimes we think that we're thinking, but it's our mind that is thinking.
What happens with this kind of people? They don't know that they are thinking.
They really don't get any place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're trapped. And you cannot be greater than what your mind is. Never. You know, Theodore Roosevelt said that you're not actually a prisoner of fate or of luck, but you're a prisoner of your own mind.
Mm-hmm. Years ago, you started this Super Minds system.
Right.
I think it originated from the United States, and
Right.
then you went back to the Philippines to actually help the youth, especially the youth,
Right,
and other
right.
people who are interested about what you teach as a mind teacher.
Right, yeah.
Okay, why go back and start this kind of campaign?
It's very good. The Philippines is a very rich country
Is it?
in natural resources. We're just blessed with everything. Our weather, the climate that we have is perfect. You know, the problem of the Philippines is the mind of the Filipinos. You know,
How do we think, as a Filipino, how do we think? I mean, normally there should be a pattern, because as a nation, we are almost thinking and going to one direction, if you will. How do we think as a Filipino?
we don't think. The Filipinos,
We don't think. You're telling me that we don't think. That's why we are here?
it's very catalytic, actually, the realization of the Filipinos being that we're not really thinking as we are supposed to really be thinking as far as life goes. Baka hindi tayo nag-iisip eh.
So what are the
Kaya
things?
madalas nating sinasabi na hindi nag-iisip.
So how do you do that? How do you think? And how can you be conscious about your thinking process?
That's why you need to get into a program.
All right.
You need to get into a training program that will make you become more conscious.
And this is not being taught in school.
No, it's not.
Why not?
Well, I don't know.
Or
They have
probably-
not just thought about training the mind.
So probably
we
the
have to
leaders are not
understand.
thinking,
We have to understand that a trained dog is a better dog.
Mhm.
So a trained brain is a better brain. So if your brain, your thinking is not really trained, if your mind is not trained,
Right.
then it's not a better mind.
Right.
So you have to get into a training program that will delve on your consciousness.
Right. How
So what I'm doing with the people that I'm training right now is they're becoming conscious of their consciousness. So it's actually a program called The Science of Conscious Consciousness.
Right. How did you become that person?
Oh, that's a very good question. I thought that, you know, back in the U.S., as I was involved in a lot of things, I have prayed, really, because I'm a pastor. And I prayed that the Lord will use me in such a mighty way. And then one day, the Lord just came to me while I was about to go to sleep in San Jose, California. I was pioneering a church there back in 1998, 1999, and 2000. And 2001, in January, that's where I had conversation with the Lord. And from that, I began to realize, that I was not really improving that much, and that I have to do something. So I was in a quest, Lloyd. I was actually like groping for the answer. And I was asking the Lord to give me the answer, to be an answer.
Did he give you an answer?
Yes.
What was
And
the answer?
so then as I went on, and God gave me Jim Rohn. I met Jim Rohn personally, and then I began to realize that actually it's just all about the mind.
Right. So you were not that young. You
No.
were not that young when you started this thinking, consciousness, this process.
It started in 2001.
Oh my God.
And then in 2002, then I heard a voice from the Lord when I was in my office in New York saying to me that the world is my university and that all the people in the world are my students.
Okay, let's talk about the Filipinos being religious. 80 to 85% of our population are actually Roman Catholics or Christians.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
How is it connected with us thinking this kind of way?
It's a sad thing.
Is
It's
it?
a sad thing that people get trapped in religion. And then they're being programmed into religion. I was in Japan, and I was the guest speaker at a business conference involving 30 top business owners, sponsored by my friend who was a congressman in Japan.
Are these business people in Japan?
Japan, yeah.
Okay.
And
Are they religious?
I don't think so. In a way, yes, they are, but they have their own philosophy. They have their own understanding. But going back to the religion thing, I was asked, why in the Philippines we are so religious. We're supposed to be good people, and yet our children go in the streets begging, and so that's bad. That will never happen in Japan. And you're supposed to be Christians, And that's why I ask people, hey, guys, are we happy that we're Christians, yet we are the #1 most corrupt country in Asia?
So how do you connect it?
That's why.
You're the most religious
Right.
country in the world. Probably you are.
It does not connect.
Right.